Hi, Michelle here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 Hoyas I have that I think really sun stress beautifully. Most of these are pretty attainable Hoyas. All of them are attainable Hoyas. Maybe some of these will get on your list of Hoyas that you'd like to try out. If you like today's video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That lets me know that you like today's content. If you'd like to see other planty-related videos from me like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. I generally post about Hoyas and Hoya care, though I do collect all types of house plants. And if you'd like to, please put a comment in the comment section below. I love to interact with my comment section, so I will get back to you. The first Hoya on today's list is the Sipitangensis. I like this Hoya simply because it was one of the very first Hoyas I got when I was collecting way back in 2019. And I'm looking at the pot now, and I don't see any roots except for one tiny one back here sticking out of the pot yet. I did pot this up from cuttings. This plant was one plant that I restarted. I can't remember the exact reason why. I do think it was root rot. I was losing a lot of leaves on this. As you can see, here is a stem that I lost all the roots on. Why I have this in there, I don't know, honestly. But I rooted all of these, and I'm just waiting for the plant to stop growing. But the reason why it's included in today's video, not the fact that it's not growing, but the beautiful sun stressing that goes on with the Sipitangensis when it is put in higher light. This does not take an extreme amount of light to get this plant to sun stress. Putting it on a shelf with a grow light within 12 inches of it for a couple of weeks is enough to do this to your plant. When I think in terms of sun stressing, I must say at the start that sun stressing is stress on the plant. Hoyas contain anthocyanins that turn colors when they are exposed to sun. They don't get as stressed as, say, other plants would get being exposed to the sun. But sun stressing is stress to the plant. So if you do sun stress the plant, keep that in mind. The growth may slow down. The plant may not produce as many leaves. Peduncles may not bloom or bloom as frequently. It will slow down the growth of the plant. So that is to keep in mind. So don't think that the greatest thing to do is to blast all your Hoyas with a bunch of light, because that's not going to work out for you. You're going to notice some definite decrease in growth. But this one was actually in the sunlight in the cabinet. It got hit with a sun ray every day. And so this little section grew a nice, beautiful maroon. So my first plant that I think will sun stress really beautifully for you without much effort is a Sipitangensis. The second plant is probably not one that most people will think of, and this is the Ficii. And I didn't know that the Ficii would sun stress much until I kind of ran out of room in my Millsbow cabinet, and I put this on a shelf that was a lot closer to the grow light. As you'll see, there is a lot of sun stressing on this plant, and it's a really beautiful color. I will say, though, like I said with the last plant, it does slow down growing. So it is not really growing anything at this point in time. It's also not blooming right now, which also can be another side effect of having being sun stressed. So this plant is probably going to go ahead and go into a lower light situation. I like to do that. If I have plants that sun stress, this plant was sun stressed accidentally just because of where I had to put it. But what I'll do is with plants like this that I don't want to have this happen to, I will rotate it into a lower light area. I will get the sun stressing to calm down. The plant will revert more towards its natural color. And then I will notice that any stunted growth will start redeveloping. Peduncles will start blooming again. And then I can put it back in a higher light situation if I want to. But that is my general game plan for sun stressing. And so that's what I'm going to do with this plant. But the second plant that I do think sun stresses beautifully is the Ficii. The third Hoya on my list is a Hoya that is probably one that's probably on a lot of people's lists, and that is the Tequila Sunrise. And that is because when this Hoya gets exposed to high light, it turns a really beautiful maroon color. And that's what has happened with the leaves on this plant. This Tequila Sunrise, also the veins stand out when the plant is exposed to light. This is kind of in a really horribly trellis situation right now. It's all wobbly and everything, and it's also much too small of a trellis. As you can see, the stems are just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. But I really enjoy this because of the color it gets. You don't see too many Hoyas get this real maroon color, and only the last plant I'm going to show you gets any darker. These are kind of going in terms of lightest to darkest color. So I really enjoy the Tequila Sunrise. It's got good looking roots. It's growing well. It grows well. It doesn't really give me much problems. Oh, I forgot to tell you, it's got a peduncle. It's got a peduncle right there. So it has bloomed for me, which is really exciting. I'll see if I can put a picture up for you. So the third plant that I think sun stresses beautifully is the Tequila Sunrise. The fourth plant is probably one that is probably on everyone's list, and that is the GPS724. This plant that I have of this is not very sun stressed. So it may be hard for you to see why they call it the grape. But if you look at the leaves on the top of this, you can see how it sun stresses purple, and it does indeed look like a grape. The shape of the Hoya is really cool. The sun stressing just adds to the funkiness of the plant. Not only does the sun stressing look cool, but it's got a really unique shape that lends to the enjoyment of the color, I think. I do not want to stress this out much. I did get this to bloom recently. This just finished blooming. I'll put a picture up. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant. I really enjoy having this. I got this for my birthday, not 2023, but I think 2022. I'll have to look to make sure. But I got two little cuttings about this big, and I put one on this part going up the trellis this way, one on this part going up the trellis this way, and they just kind of met in the middle and have went from there. So that is my fourth plant that I think you would love to have sun stressed, and that is my GPS724. And finally, the last plant that I have that I think sun stresses beautifully is probably the best. And this is the Black Magic. Now, when I got this plant, it was green. It doesn't look very remarkable as a green plant. It looks kind of like a verticillata, maybe some type of verticillata, maybe some type of latifolia. But what it does is you put it under a decent amount of light and it turns black. This is what it looks like underneath. See if I can show you that leaf right there. But it sun stresses almost black, and it's a really fun plant to have because not too many Hoyas turn this color. So I think that's neat. I first saw this on a Rick Moyer video. I saw it on his video where he had got it straight from Hoyas in Thailand. And I was lucky enough to get it from a private seller on Facebook about 4 or 5 months ago. But it's just, I love the color that it gets. And this did not really get very much highlight either. This was on a shelf with a lot of light, but it wasn't like blasted. So this turns black pretty rapidly. So it is doing really well. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to put this in a different pot and trellis this up real fast and see if I can't get this to grow any bigger. I did take it out of the extreme light situation it was in and put it in a lower light situation. So as you can see, the blackness is starting to fade a little on this. Like I said, high stress reduces growth. So I want this to grow now that I've got it turned the color I want. So I will get it to grow. When it fades down too much, I will just go ahead and put it back in the highlight for another week or two, get it get those anthocyanins a little activated again, then put it back in the low light. That's how I do it. I don't know if that's probably the best thing or not. That's just what I do. The fifth plant that I think sun stresses beautifully is the Black Magic. I really hope you enjoyed taking a look at these 5 Hoyas with me and maybe get some ideas of Hoyas you might like to add to your collection, or get some ideas on if you sun stress your Hoyas, maybe some solutions on what you can do to increase the growth or the blooming, or if you don't sun stress, maybe ideas that you'd like to take so that you can do that a little. I just hope this video opened up a little bit of some horizons for you. I hope to talk to you soon. Until next video, I'll see you again. Have a great day. Bye.